And we're live. Okay. So, nobody's here. Just me and some bullets. How many bullets? Well, we'll be counting them today on this episode of Red Flag Reality Update. So, oh, hey, there's two people. I always don't know what to say when it's just me. But hi. Okay, now there's 4. 7. Oh, hello. Nobody's chatted yet, so I can't read any chats. But I have a lot of ammo. These are 223s and 556s. Fits in our AR 556. Oh, we have one comment. It says 6mm films. That's awesome. Rounds. That's right. Someone called it on Instagram Liberty Seeds. And I couldn't agree more. Oh, no, they said Freedom Seeds. Similar.
Hello.
Oh, hello.
Oh, I guess we can go live there too now. Oh, hello.
We're going to go live on Facebook now.
Yes.
So thank you guys for coming up. Oh, someone said, Langora said, keep it up. America. America. I love that song. It's funny. Okay. What are your views on statism? That's hilarious.
What?
All right, we're going live on Facebook.
All right, it looks like it's going, so I'm going to share that really quick.
Cool.
All right.
How's everyone doing? It's been a couple weeks since we last went live.
It has been a few weeks, so we've done a lot.
Yeah. Well, I'm excited to give you guys updates on how busy we've been these past couple weeks. The last live stream was really fun. That was Red Flag Reality Film Update number 2. And we had lots of fun. It was the first time that we got our RRS speed loader, and the people that were on the live stream were the first ones to experience it with us because we never had this before. So that was fun, and we brought it back. We really enjoyed it. Though it's dusty. I want to dust it.
You're going to dust it? Well, we're waiting. Sorry, yeah, we just need a minute to share this around. So we just want to make sure everybody can see and hear us for our next level and layers of updates here. So I want to make sure everybody can hear it.
Dust is really just what you get used to as an adult when you have your own place. It's like, oh, there's always dust. Okay.
Right.
I guess it depends on where you are as well and your ventilation. Okay, so I guess this is, since the mic is closer to the RRS speed loader, it's going to sound like ASMR speed loading.
ASMR speed loading. That's not a bad idea, actually.
It's
That's funny. I can imagine lots of people would like to hear that.
Anyone watch ASMR videos? Don't be shy to admit it. But it's basic. ASMR is just when you have really high quality mics. And it's just picking up all the little sounds you make as
exactly.
you walk around. And I can hear.
You can hear it really well.
Mic.
Does it sound good though?
Like,
is it scintillating? I don't know if everybody else likes that sound, but I do.
If no one wants to admit watching ASMR videos, I'll admit it. All right. Sometimes when I'm just hungry and I'm waiting. My ride to get food.
Oh my goodness.
I look up ASMR videos on food. I'm just kidding. Not just ASMR videos.
Right.
But oh wow, thanks Robert. Okay. Well, since Robert started it, I'm gonna go ahead and
give it our updates yet, but thank you.
Yeah, thank you so much. We haven't given our updates, but
we have some good updates though.
Those of you on Facebook can't see, but Robert F. $2. Thank you so much. Super chat on YouTube. So what we're going to do tonight, which we really enjoyed doing, is the last live stream. And that's what this chart is here that I painstakingly prepared. I drew all these lines.
Oh my goodness.
And what we're going to do up here, this cloud, 1 bullet per $1 or dollar or Bitcoin. One bullet per Bitcoin.
That's a lot of bullets for 1 Bitcoin. I gotta tell you.
Actually,
I don't know that we can load that many.
1 Bitcoin, we buy a house. Okay.
No,
the house is a lot more than.
That's a lot more than Bitcoin.
Bitcoin.
That's a John McAfee's projection for Bitcoin or something. No.
True. One bullet per $1. So thank you, Robert. That's $2. All right. So I'm going to put 2 bullets and then 1 chat. And so for every super chat as well, I'm going to take 1 sip, which for anyone else who's like bigger than me and not Asian, that would be like 1 shot.
That is like 1 shot for you.
So I'm going to just 1. Thank you, Robert. That's going to be my first drink. I haven't cracked this open. It's a White Claw in my favorite flavor. Actually, no. Well, it's one of them. I like raspberry and the cherry. I like the berries. And I really want to read the comments because I see some. And oh my gosh. All right. Well, I got to drink.
I'm almost there, actually. This last.
Thank you, Robert. Cheers. I wish you said something, but it's okay. You don't have to. No pressure.
No pressure. Oh, my sweet Lord. All right. I'm almost done. Just literally 30 more seconds.
Your sweet Lord.
Sweet Lord. And then we're going to give some great updates. So thank you, everybody, for your patience. Just obviously want to make sure everybody gets everything they need to know. Let me see.
You know, I saw this. Oh, wow. You can really pick that up on the mic. If you just put it in, you'll hear, but you don't have to.
Well, all right. And with that, okay. Everything has been updated. Everybody's potentially on board, although I do need a napkin. So let me grab that really quick.
Okay. And then when you come back, we'll say cheers to Robert for the first super chat.
Yes.
And
thanks.
2.
We haven't even made all of our great announcements, but yes.
Oh, I just love that sound.
Okay.
Just of that brass.
It does sound beautiful.
It also looks very pretty.
It does
color
sound
of gold.
All right. So I think we've done it. I think everybody's on board. We got a nice crowd here. Yes. Sip. Cheers on Facebook people.
Cheers,
and cheers
Robert.
specifically to you, Robert. Thanks for opening it up here with 2 bullets loaded. So
2 bullets.
2 bullets, yeah. So basically,
oh, thanks.
We are gathered here.
You guys are adorable.
Oh, thank you.
And then she did the yellow and the black heart.
Is that voluntary?
I love that.
Nice. So basically, you know, those of you who have been following along with the project that we're working on, the Red Flag film, just to give a little summary for anybody who might be new, because I see there's a lot of people here. Basically, we've been trying to work together and create a film that pushes back against all the gun grabbing groups that are out there that are trying to implement red flag laws and other types of confiscation.
This is our 3rd update. So.
Right. So, of course, we were very upset by how many different state legislatures and governors have been pushing for gun control, obviously at the federal level as well. If we also, took note of people like Sandy Hook Promise putting out these propaganda videos trying to suggest that, if you go to school, you're just going to get shot automatically. Like, oh, go to school. Oh, everybody's just getting shot.
My blood literally boils once a day, at least.
Yeah.
Reading all these stories of what they're trying to push.
So basically, we hit that point where we said, we can't just sit back and do nothing about this, because obviously, if things continue in the way that these gun grabbers wish, people like us and, of course, people like you watching here would become prime suspects for, basically a type of U.S. internment camp and persecution, direct violence for both, First Amendment, Second Amendment, free speech, gun rights activity. So it's very scary and it's very daunting. But we thought that, others were not doing what we thought needed to be done in terms of the media element. Of course, there's many great groups out there, like FPC and Second Amendment Foundation, GOA, who are doing the legal side, but very few people are actually doing media in the genre of what these gun grabbing groups are doing in terms of, having dramatic production. We said, this is ridiculous. It's time to push back. So with some great support, obviously, thank you so much for everybody who's already supported. I haven't seen any names yet. I haven't looked if people who supported before us are here with us, but many people helped support and get us going on what we need to do, which was go through and get some legal entities created so that we can move through this, through proper channels without getting in trouble. And we start to do a layout of what we want to do with film, and we did a layout of the website. And now, thanks to everybody's support and continued support,
this is exciting.
We can actually give you all both a sneak peek of what's coming on. Tune in, drop out. Thank you so much. We got support right now. Thank you. Actually,
thank you so much.
You're going to really like this. We're going to do 2 things, both Facebook, again, and YouTube. We're going to share with you some of the artwork that's been created, the design, And we're going to give you a link to the website that this is going to be launched on that has actually the itemized kind of film project ideas that we want to do and eventually launch through, crowdsource fundraising. So first and foremost, I'll give the first little sneak peek, and then I'll give you all the direct website. So I'll tell you, and we'll type it in here so that you can actually just go and navigate. Again, keep this loaded, keep the YouTube loaded, keep the Facebook loaded, but then also check out the website. Again, it's a rough website. Not all the links are going to go to the official thing, but it's just to show you where this is going, and you can actually read along with us as we read through the specific film parameters of what we're looking to do. So I'll give this over here.
What do you think of the artwork? I really like it.
Let me see. So here, Facebook, you can see right here.
Red.
So you can see it's, yeah, if you see it in reverse, no, that's just because, Facebook doesn't support Android. Yeah. So, they won't let you reverse image, back away. Android but if you want to go on YouTube, you can see it there. Also, you can go to the website in a second. So YouTube, though, you'll get a nice and clear view, hopefully. Maybe I have to come around here on this side here. I'm going to come a little bit closer.
How does it look, YouTube?
So, yeah, let's see if I can get this to focus it. Did I get it to focus in? There we go.
Someone said drinking.
There we go. Yeah, so you can see there's the branding. So again, our official branding is going to be Red Flag Reality.
Someone said that's sick.
It's going to be
Valentani.
Yeah, it's going to be reflecting obviously the reality, which is that Red Flag.
It's going to be this guy.
It's going
to be an agent of the state.
Right.
Pointing a gun in your face.
Right. It's literally going to be a bloody mess.
Committed no crime and you hurt nobody.
Right. Of SWAT people coming in, raiding people's homes, killing innocent people.
Already happened.
And yes, there's already been
and get their guns confiscated.
And on that note, actually, in addition to going over what we do with the film, I do also want to cover a Reason article that just came out for their magazine. Because they actually go through several of the red flag incidents that are extremely troubling.
Wait,
before
you do that, I just have to,
Oh yeah.
do my thank you, Tune In, Drop Out.
Yeah. So thank you. Cheers to that.
Cheers.
And right now, I'm going to go ahead
so
and put in the website URL for both YouTube and Facebook. So just 1 second here. I'm just going to make sure this is all typed in proper.
And while you talk, I'll load this up.
Oh, yeah, load it on up. Okay, yes, everything looks good. So without further ado, here is a big reveal for you on YouTube. So YouTube's got the first link. So if you click on that again, stay tuned out here on the YouTube, but you can click on that link and actually see the project and, just some of the basics of it and what we're hoping to accomplish. So I'm going to do this now for Facebook here and get you all the link.
That's awesome. Thank you. Tune in, drop out. I hope you tune in, but you don't drop out until the end.
Yeah. To drop out, I think of the statism and the tyranny. Okay. So
I'm pretty sure. Oh, I can hear it.
Oh, whoops, did I yet? I unplugged this, silly me. Okay, put that back in. All right. So I'm gonna post this in here. If I can. Let me see if this will let me here. 1 second. Hold on. Facebook, I'm about to give you the link so you can check it out. This is just
so amazing. Just look at this and just the design that went into it. The powder, the molding. It's just so cool. All the tools that it took.
All right. So now it is officially both up on the Facebook and on the YouTube. So again, it's redflagreality.com. So redflag, REDFLAG, reality.com. And on there, you're actually going to be able to see kind of like some of the basics of what we're looking to accomplish. And we're going to actually walk through those steps. So if you're on Facebook, obviously you can take a look at the website within a separate window or whatever. If you're on YouTube, of course, you can pop that open depending on, I don't know. I think most people's phones can handle YouTube and the web page at the same time. So I'm actually going to the main page right now. And, if you're there and you're navigating there, you can see, it says a short film exposing the true nature of red flag laws. And there's going to be a list of production levels underneath that. So basically, what we would like to do is shoot for a high goal, ultimately, of 40,000.
Which is the main thing that we want to produce.
Which is the main thing we want to
produce. But we recognize that there's a threshold level of funding that's necessary to do it right, to do it well, and to give it the quality it deserves. So anything where it's below a certain goal, where we have different stretch goals, basically, or not stretch goals. We just have different.
We do have stretch goals though, but yes,
we just have different ideas of production that we can make,
even if it underfunds,
fully funded.
Right. So. Exactly. So what we have here, basically is a bunch of different tiers, and obviously it's a daunting task to try to raise this, but we're able to.
Can we?
Yeah, in a minute. Yeah, we'd be able to, do this, I think, at a very competitive budget compared to a lot of other people, because we have some, very friendly help that we will announce again at the right time, who has already expressed interest in this film project, and they are an excellent cinematographer. They're also very passionate about, gun rights and volunteerism.
Do you know what other PSAs tend to cost? Like, is it?
It depends.
I guess it just depends.
No, it depends. But I can tell you from experience, because I've done a lot of production, that the Sandy Hook promise video that they did definitely looked, to be in the six figures for me, from what I could see, to do the level of production that they did, definitely. So, and I mean, if you look at their,
so just
financials,
to that.
Oh yeah. I mean, they have tons of money. Moms Demand Action, March for Our Lives, Sandy Hook Promise. I mean, they paid $140,000 just to have one lobbyist. Forget about the videos they produce and other stuff they're doing. They threw $140,000 just to pay a lobbyist to go lobby for them. So it's like, you know what I mean? We're facing some people that are, heavy hitters and trying to basically destroy and erase the remaining, whatever respects we have.
They just want to control everybody. These are people that, live in gated communities, have armed guards. Like, they don't need to worry about having a gun to defend themselves on their persons. They're very insulated, and they just want to control everybody else. And the people that suffer the most are the middle class and the poor people. And then eventually the middle class just become the poor people, and you really just have the really rich and corrupt and the really poor.
Right. Yeah, exactly. Over time, as the government keeps growing and keeps taking everybody's money, that their whole goal is to eliminate any sense of middle or rising class. Just basically, okay, you're either elite or you're just a peasant and you're a slave, and you're just going to be,
So that's the future we want to avoid.
So
because in a capitalist society where people are free to trade and specialize and accumulate capital, you have people that are rising all the time through different brackets or dropping because they're free to fail. And that's the kind of society we want to aim for, where people are free and they have the most chances to succeed in this world.
Right. So, yeah, exactly.
Someone loves my shirt.
Yeah.
Sorry.
No, you're fine. So basically, with what we're hoping to do here, we really want to push back against those people. And again, for anybody who's new here, sorry if this is a hackneyed saying, but it's so important for me to emphasize this. I literally want to shove what they've done straight back down their throats in the same type of medium. All this dramatization and this hyperbole and exaggeration, I want to take it and just throw it right back at them, except when we do our presentation, it's going to be much closer to the reality of what is actually going to take place, as it's already been proven by people who have been killed, literally murdered in red flag law raids. So, this is something we want to definitely talk about more, like specific instances and humanize it, show the human element. But for now, we're going to focus on the dramatization, leading up to this 2020 election year, and really want to, just take everything they've done and throw it right back, so that they have nothing even left to say anymore, because they're just going to be done. So let's see here. So if I guess no further ado here from the comments, we're going to go through these tiers together. So we're going to talk about what these tiers are. So again, if you're just joining us, we're going to redflagreality.com. That's redflagreality.com. There's a link to that. I think there's in the live chat for Facebook and YouTube. And what we're going to do is we're going to look at what we've frameworked so far. So let me see if I can zoom this in a little bit here so that you can see it better. I'll have you read off the different tiers and just discuss, some of that.
All right. So the smallest goal that we have, if we have funding under 5,000, we'll make a video called The Real Dangers of Red Flag Laws. And it will be in the same regular video presentation style that I do every month. But the difference is we'll be in a studio. So you'll have that really high quality, like, going to an actual studio where they can have all kinds of cool lighting, around you.
Yeah.
So that's the first, what do you call it? Mini goal?
I would call it the first tier of funding. So if we only hit just under 5,000, then we'll do that level again, because we want to just do something that's impactful. So that will be, studio quality, definitely a level up, at a professional studio doing that presentation video.
I think it'll be hard hitting, but again, the whole goal with this is to reach, the highest tier of support, so that we can make the video where it's not the common presentation style. It's a full-on film where we can really show and just have actors depict what's really happening and what will continue to happen with Red Flag Laws. So the next tier of support is from 5,000 to 10,000.
No, it's 5,000 to 9,999.
Oh, okay. It's 5,000 to 9,999. It's $1 off. Okay.
Yeah, because that dollar will trigger to the next level. So it's important to note that these brackets are intentionally structured to fit within a certain paradigm of budgeting and what we can reasonably do.
Yeah. So for that, the second tier, it's going to be Dear public school students, your teachers are lying to you. And it's going to be a skit. So it's not going to be like the standard presentation videos. It'll be...
There's going to be hired, there'll be, for that skit in particular, there's going to be a hired talent and actor for that presenting something that's going to be very engaging and especially geared toward young people. Because again, one of the biggest impacts that have happened, in these recent years is the push in the propaganda in public schools. For students to be like, oh yeah, take away our rights, which is like the craziest thing ever, right? Like begging to be a slave.
All the students leaving and stepping out for March for Our Lives, having their teachers actually help fund, buses and allowing them to skip school. Like, there was a huge push for it.
Exactly.
Somebody said your voice is
so again, so focusing back on this, so again,
if the audio was
no.
on Facebook.
Yeah, no, it's not. So basically, what we're focusing on here is just, that level of production for that tier. But again, if we keep going up on the funding levels, then of course we're able to do the next level, the higher quality, more engaged production.
Yeah. So total we have 5, or no, is it 6? 6 funding tiers. So total we have 6. So that's the first 2. The third one, this is going to be from 10,000 to 14,999. The next support tier is going to be Kids Talk About Gun Control skit. So
so that's going to be a little bit of like a comedic skit with some young actors who are going to really send home the message about the nature of gun control, but also kind of poke fun at all these different gun control group organizations or, leftist organizations, big government organizations that try to use kids to like push their message. So we're going to take that and twist it on them and be, absolutely irreverent and poking fun at that, but also being informative and just showing how absurd some of these, things are. So
well said. Great. So the fourth support tier would be from 15,000, we jump up to 19,999. And this video will be called When Seconds Are on the Line, Police Are Minutes Away. And this will be a fun skit. Well, not a fun skit.
Yeah, it'll be fun to make, but yeah.
Right. Well, it's going to be a skit. So not a presentation video, but a skit showing, what happens when what the reality is when you're actually in that situation where seconds matter. You have an intruder in your house, somebody who's out to kill you or take your property. And you have, if it will be, I don't know exactly how.
Well, I can say a little bit more exactly. So basically we have a situation where someone doesn't have a gun versus when they do. And we're going to just highlight those very obvious intuitive things. But by putting it into video and dramatizing it, it's going to be, I think, very impactful to make people realize, guess what? If you don't have the ability to defend yourself, things are not going to go out that great, when you're waiting for police. So,
and it's something that I hope will reach general audiences, like people who, like me, didn't grow up around gun culture. Like I didn't really get it. I never, growing up, really. There were a couple. Oh, you just took away the sound. I can't hear myself anymore.
Okay. It's all right. It's still on, unless someone says it's not on. I just turned it
says speakers are muted, and I can't.
Yeah.
Okay, now it's on again because I can hear the audio of the mic.
Oh,
so
I see.
That just muted it.
Gotcha. Well, I'm about to do something here really quick, so.
Okay. So yeah. So anyway, well, like what I was saying, when I was growing up, I never learned about. I wasn't really sorry. There was just audio coming in, but I wasn't really taught gun culture, and I just wasn't really exposed to, aside from violence in my own family, I didn't experience direct violence from a stranger growing up. So I didn't understand what it was like to be holed up in my home and waiting for the police to come while there's an intruder in my house. I've never had that growing up. And for a lot of people, they may have had a similar sheltered life, at least when it comes to like outside people, not so much the family, But yeah, so I really hope a video like that would demystify that it really matters, those seconds, those precious seconds. Like if anyone's watched a video, it only takes a couple seconds for you to die if somebody is out to kill you. So that would be a really interesting video to do. So, all right, next level. So this is the 5th level, and then we're getting the 6th one, which is the main one. So at the 5th level, it's going to be from $20,000 to $39,999. So if we raise between that, we're going to make a skit. Now, this is actually comical.
It's a really good skit. This is one you would want to see. Even if we didn't hit 40, this is a great skit.
This one would be called Things More Likely to Kill You Than a School Shooter Skit. And yeah, so this one is specifically looking at how, and responding to the Sandy Hook Promise PSA that recently came out, and I shared on my pages, that showed kids going back to school. And it's really just atrocious because it's making kids just so scared that there's going to be an active school shooter. And this skit pokes fun at that fear that they want to push by showing things that are more likely to kill you than a school shooter. Things like lightning, things like getting hit by a car, things like so.
Getting stabbed, drowning, other things like that. Absolutely.
I just had a thought. I do wonder. Okay, I guess I'm like, if we just had some ideas, if there's any like groups that have the funding to just do it, I mean, that would honestly, I would just find that cool. Nonetheless, if they did it. Like someone's like, oh, that's great.
But obviously we're doing it and we're working on it. So we want you to focus on us, support us, and do it with us, because we promise you we're going to be better than those other people. So again, we really want you to believe in us and join us on this journey as we're trying to, really stick it back down and shove it down these people's throats who are trying to demonize people like us just to want to live free. We're not hurting anybody. We're not shooting anybody. We're not doing anything evil to anybody, but they want to say that we're evil just because we like guns and we, have them. Oh, okay. Wow. Like, so basically, we're really pushing back.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Somebody asked, will the skits be on this platform? Yes. Any video will go out on all our main pages. So
right. So it'll be shared to those pages.
YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, everywhere.
Absolutely. So, and then finally, after this
is the one that we're gonna really push for when this campaign finally launches. But this is when we get to a very minimum of $40,000 plus. So this will be the official Red Flag reality short film.
Yes.
You're gonna tell us about it.
Yes.
We've described it before, but
so basically, the official, Red Flag reality film. Without giving away too much here, it's going to be a dramatization that is meant to highlight, again, what will actually happen under red flag laws ultimately. And,
and what has happened. In
some ways what has happened, but I think it's going to be even more of a reality. And I think that what we're about to see most specifically, this upcoming year, because it just happened, is that in California, for example, they just signed a red flag bill. That is, the governor signed a red flag bill into law that would allow like coworkers to report on you or say something, teachers, like all kinds of, people that literally could just say anything and pretend that you're waving a gun. They could lie about you. They could just be out to get you crazy and just say, oh yeah, I saw them, You know what I mean? And just because someone has guns, they're going to go and they're going to confiscate them, possibly even kill them if they resist or show any signs, they might be, a flight risk. So we're going to just, bust down their doors in the middle of the night and not even ask them to turn it over. So we see this as a very real thing, a definite and genuine threat against people. And
I want to add that another thing that's coming up too is these gun control advocates, they're really pushing for a culture of people to just be so afraid of guns that they see anyone who likes guns as a threat. Anyone who just has like a Second Amendment sticker on, or a "Don't Tread on Me" sticker on the back. Anyone like that could be red flagged. Literally how they're pushing for it to be. They're making people freak out. They're making people have a bias in their head that the only kinds of shooters are people who just love guns. So if you have a neighbor that happens to like guns and is super into it, and you see him, maybe carrying targets, and he goes to the range once a week or once a month, to just be very suspicious of them. That's the culture they're pushing for. So this film is going to show exactly that. Show how they are going to treat people who are just peaceful gunners. Love guns, they love their family, and they want to protect their family. And it's going to show how these people just want to make us all out to be criminals. Like we're just these, loose cannons, and that the only people who can be responsible with firearms are people within the state, within government. That's what they want the masses to believe. They want the masses to be fearful. They want the masses to be powerless. They want the masses to call the cops. You see a lot of these ads. You see sheriffs who are corrupt talking about it. And they're like, hey, if a robber comes, call the police. That's what that's for. In fact, it reminds me of, I saw a story recently of a self-defense shooting that happened. And this guy was being robbed. And the other guys, they either had guns or knives. I couldn't remember, but I know they were armed. And in any case, this person shot one of them, who died, and the other one ran away. And the family, which is sad, it's tragic, of this young man, were his brother and sister. They were like, I don't know, they all looked to be maybe between just 20 and 30. They just looked really young. And obviously they're sad and grieving that their brother was killed, but they had this idea that it was wrong for that person to defend themselves. They overlooked how their own brother was robbing this person with a weapon and trying to. And so it was really interesting to hear like the sister of the brother say like, oh, why do you got to watch the clip? It just kind of shows and depicts the mindset of a gun control advocate, but just in raw words without the sophisticated language to cover it up. She was just like, she's like, sure, my brother, he robbing you, but you know what? You don't have to defend yourself. That's wrong. I forgot exactly what she said, but it was something like that. Do you remember like the exact words? But
yeah, she just said, "Oh, he doesn't have a right to like shoot him. He should have just waited and called the police." Even though her brother literally came into the store armed with a gun, pointed at the cashier, and threatened them literally with their lives in robbing the place, and the cashier shot him and killed him. And they made it seem like as if the brother was. So she excuses
her brother pointing a gun, threatening someone's life,
right?
But she doesn't excuse a person who defended themselves from her brother who was pointing and threatening their life. And she tells them to just go ahead and call 911. She's like, you should have. Okay, wow. All right. Thanks, the Sasquatch. The Sasquatch has been here the last 2 calls. That was awesome. Thank you. I'll give you 2 sips.
Yeah. I think that qualifies for some mag loading. So thank you, Sasquatch, for your support.
Oh, that's a lot to draw on to wood.
That's a lot to draw, and it's a lot to drink, and it's a lot to load. So
right, cheers. Well,
cheers to that.
1 sip per super chat. You could have broken it up, but
he was whatever.
Very nice.
No, it's for the best.
Very nice guy. He's like 1 sip for philosophy. He knows.
Oh my goodness!
It's equivalent to 1 shot. For me.
But that is, of course, because this is what 27 rounds in here. It's 25 and 2.
Yeah.
So you have 3 rounds, plus you have 3 30s, and then you're gonna have 7 left over. So. Quick math.
All right, 97 left.
So thank you, Sasquatch, for your support. Because seriously, on that note of all the things you were just talking about, I'm not sure if you're here for it, but we talked about what we've accomplished so far, and we read through the red flag reality, kind of goals, the tiers, what we want to accomplish, and also the ultimate goal. Now, in addition to that, I don't think I covered it here, but if we go beyond that fundraising goal, then we'll start producing the next tiers as we hit them at the highest funding level. So in other words, if we get lots of support and people are doing it, we're going to do multiple videos. Which would be great because we can do it on a much better budget than many of these other big companies and organizations that have so much red tape and bureaucracy. We can streamline it and make it happen at a very high quality level. And we have people working with us who are really passionate about it as well. So thank you, the Sasquatch, for your support there. And in addition, that support actually is helping us because we want to do a more professional pitch video. Because when we do the actual pitch, it'll be on a crowdsourced fundraising platform. So it's going to have, the typical layout with like, here's our perks and all this other stuff. Here's what the campaign's about. We want to have a nice video, a quality video that shows, really, what we're capable of doing, something that looks nice.
So this really helps.
It does help us make that really quality video. Yeah.
So I believe it was Robert so far, Tune In, Tune Out, and the Sasquatch. So thank you guys. That really helps us get closer to making a cool kickoff video and make up for some of this, initial getting this all together, creating the corporate entity and all the branding so far. So that really helps. Really, thank you guys so much. And somebody said thank you for standing up for Second Amendment rights. I mean,
exactly. We're definitely standing up for all those rights that are listed or enumerated, but they transcend even that. Obviously, these rights transcend just words on paper.
Right. It transcends the Constitution, but yeah, I get it. It's well known.
Right. So you have some things to load right now, miss.
I do. So thank you. I put it up. That's 369 and then 97 and then plus the 3 that I added here. So thank you. Okay, that's a lot. I'm gonna have to rack this. Let's see how I do. I believe I had your help last time.
Well, just for one mag or maybe 2. But basically, is this all the way up? Yes, it is. Okay, perfect.
So this is an RS speed loader. If you can't see on Facebook, you really can't. All right, let me show.
Yeah, the Facebook people on Facebook. Well, actually, Facebook people, I'm going to give you the YouTube link because, again, YouTube gives you a better view. So.
Yeah, it does. And then this is the thing that you use to push all the ammo. Sorry.
Oh, you're fine. You're fine.
And then YouTube sees a great view. You can see RRS in the logo. Or in the logo. You see the logo on the bottom right-hand side.
Yes.
Thanks, Sasquatch.
It is quality. It does work.
It does.
Quite well. We can recommend. They did not pay us to get this or use it. So
yeah, it's been great.
It was
so
our
far.
own volition.
It was like what,
$40? With shipping about? Yeah. It was like 32 plus shipping. Yeah.
Or theft.
Yeah.
All right. So this is 30 and it has notches. I believe that's 10, 20, 30, and then wait, what? No. What is that?
Did you add in the other 3?
Yeah. It goes to 28. I'm sorry. That's 10, 20, and then 28. And
there
then
you go.
Goes to 30.
There you
That's
go.
right.
There we go.
Because I remember in the last streams, people were talking about, maybe you want to keep 2 ammo off the map to like save.
We want the full load.
It's like, well, I guess we'll choose the extra 2 ammo. Okay.
Yeah.
So what you do, and I don't want to spill this.
That's a good idea. Because that'd be a big waste of claw.
We know how precious
the claw is.
Someone said, wait, support for Australia. We're dying down here. Do not give those rights up. I know. I feel for you. Yeah. We really want to restore gun control in the world. I mean, I'm sorry, gun culture in the world.
Hold on. Whoa.
I keep saying
that could be taken out of context. Oh,
we really want to.
I'm gonna have to use the that Men in Black zapper. It's like you did not see that. That was a faux pas. You did not see it.
Faux pas. But gun control is already the norm in the world. So we want to bring gun culture back, and that's the goal. All right. So let's load this.
Wait. YouTube can't even see it though. So we got to pull this closer. We can't do this. That's not right.
I like it. Look how he's drinking my claw.
I don't. Did I drink this? I'm not aware.
Oh, you didn't? Oh, I'm sorry.
I'm just double fisting right now. All right, so here you go. Here it is. ASMR, 30 rounds.
I can hear it. So stupid.
There you go.
Wow.
Look at that strength.
Not only is it a workout, but it's like such a faster way to load.
There you go. 30 rounds, baby.
Versus putting it in yourself. Although I will say, it does feel very satisfying to load like one by one and just feel the
It feels good
ammo.
too. But there's nothing that beats the speed.
It's true. All right, so we got one. And if you looked at the board, we have a total of 12 mags. So how many bullets is that?
360. Right. So.
I was going to do the math.
Oh, you're going to do the math?
But it's okay. You already said it's 360.
Well, yes. Fortunately, our audience does happen to know how to count when it comes to these mags. So they probably already beat me to it. They're so fast. But yeah, we still have quite a few mags to go. Yeah. So any support is appreciated. But in the meantime, we do have quite a few to load thanks to the Sasquatch and our other great support from, let me just double check so I make this right. Oh, Polaris. Did you get Polaris as well?
No. Okay.
Oh, so I scrolled back because I was like, we were just looking at the thing. So Polaris, sorry, Polaris. If the U.S. turns into Incapistan, what's to stop a corporation or government from buying up most or all the property? Great question. Who wants to take it? You or me?
Freedom.
Freedom?
Decentralized
Which question? Who do you want to take?
Ownership of property. And people, like, there's so much competition. Like, I don't know how likely that would happen. It's more just the market would respond. If a corporation would want to start buying people out, they very well could, but it's just because they don't have the tool of coercion, all they can do is persuade. And let's say they do buy up something. As soon as that good or service that they took over, they start providing it less because other people have property ownership and because there's no barriers to entry. Oh, I thought I missed another one. But because there's no barriers to entry, you'll have a lot more people competing. So it's just a lot less likely that it would even be a problem if a company just started buying up some other companies because there is a force to combat it.
Well, and more specifically, the obviously the people at large, you got to look in the compared to what is as exists, right? So you already have the U.S. government, people who are just basically a mafia, claiming to own everybody at large by fiat and decree. Well, if there is, corporations, whatever you want to say, I mean, people working in a group, it doesn't really matter because if they act like a state and plant a flag or say we own everybody, well, first off, then you're just facing statism. Now, if you're talking specifically about the ability to aggregate land by buying from people, I mean, this is kind of something that you really have to actually look at in terms of economies of scale, because if you look at the sheer number of people who own different homes and properties and whatnot, there is no possible way that some business is going to be able to buy all that up from every single person, because you have unwilling sellers and you have people who are homesteaders and everything else you can possibly imagine. We're talking about a level of wealth that is insane. And if you want a good perspective on this, just remember that the World Trade Centers themselves, 2 buildings, are in the $30 billion range, all right? So 2 buildings, right, in New York City, let alone the entire landscape and, the millions of square miles you could possibly imagine across the United States. 2 buildings alone cost $30 billion, right? And some of the richest people in America, have in the tens to, whatever extra $1 billion you can imagine. They can't even afford to have a block of New York City, all right? It's just not realistic. And maintaining all that, very difficult, right? Maintaining ownership over all those different properties, everywhere disparate. I mean, that's how come government as it stands just relies on compliance through, threats, right? They don't meaningfully actually have the ability to try everybody at court. They don't meaningfully have the ability to go after every single person for every single infraction or every single tax violation you can imagine. Because it's just not possible. There's too many people, too many iterations of transactions. It is like a very unrealistic outcome. And the only way you can really get there is through the notion of statism. That is in practical reality. You can only get there by having the whole flag planting or we just own everything decree. When it comes to people in their pre-existing properties, it's just really a impracticality.
And the U.S.
it's just
is
not
so
huge.
There's
millions of people.
There's a lot of unoccupied land as it is that people just wouldn't want to buy up just for whatever reason. Mm-hmm. It's away from everybody or it's away from, water or anything like that. So there's still a chance. But yeah. Oh, okay. Well, I want to add more to what he asked because it was a great question.
Yes, I'm going to reload.
Thank you so much for that, by the way. And I need to add what he wrote, and then Modern Renaissance Man gave some, and I still have to load these bags. But it's great problems to have, folks. I'm really happy. Thank you so much. Let me scroll back up and make sure I write down PCs. All right, I'm not PC. I'm sorry. Polaris 589. Hey, I remember. I thought you given somebody 4, so thank you for returning. Thank you so much. So I'll put 5 down for you. 1, 2, 3.
Cheers
4,
to that.
5. Yeah, and cheers to you. I'll put you down, and then I'll put down Modern Renaissance Man. So total, we've had what, 5?
Quite a few supports. Awesome. Yes, thank you so much.
Thank you.
And he says, here's enough for one mag. So he's doing a whole mag. SoCalCBD.net. So he says SoCalCBD.net. So we say SoCalCBD.net for now, just because we're reading the message. Yeah.
Right.
Yes.
We read the message.
Yes, yeah. But
thank you.
Thank you so much. Yes,
I love that name, Modern Renaissance Man.
That is a good name. I do think that's a solid name.
You should check out his channel.
It sounds very complimentary to the Sasquatch, actually. Like Modern Renaissance Man, but then there's a Sasquatch.
Right.
There's someone on Polaris. There's someone who's tuning in and also dropping out.
That's such great
There's
names.
Someone who is Robert.
That's the best name.
More literal, less literal. But in any case, all very much appreciated.
All right,
so thank you.
30. So I'm going to do this. So I might as well recreate this. And then
so wait, how many mags have you gone through already?
Not much.
Not much?
Just one. Just one.
Because, I mean, that means that you still have like 3 more to do from just Sasquatch, let alone Modern Renaissance Male.
Yeah.
Man.
Well,
it's man.
And the other thing, I just have to say this to Polaris' question, where he asked, what if the U.S. turned into Incapistan, all 50 states? That would be awesome. And a corporation started buying up all the land. Well, compared to what you have now, even if that were to happen, despite all of the market pushback and differences in tastes and the fact that people aren't going to be coerced to give up their property, like they don't have the power of eminent domain like the state does, just compared to the state and what you have now. You have the Chinese government, CCP, going around the world, going to Venezuela, going to Africa, and making deals with the government and buying property.
Lands, yep.
I would much rather have like McDonald's or Walmart buy up land, because you know what they're going to do with it? Make a McDonald's. They're gonna make a Walmart. They're gonna offer a good and service. Yes.
Yeah.
And then there's an outlet for feedback.
Yeah.
And there's an outlet for failure as well when you have a decentralized ownership of property. Not coerced though. There's no dictations about how much property anyone needs to have. It's just rather, if coercion is not part of the equation, well, your incentive for wanting to provide value to others is much higher, and it's there. So even someone as rich as a billionaire would have the incentive in a society where they couldn't use coercion, where they couldn't pay off a politician or a legislator to write a law. You would have the incentive to meet market demand. So, yeah.
Right.
Great question. Great question.
Good question. Absolutely.
I'm going to keep loading. So thank you. This is the second one.
Yes. So while you're loading, I'm going to cover the Reason magazine article that I think was, for me, it was very powerful reading it, because it was just a real awakening to what is coming and why we are so serious about what we're doing. Yes, cheers. The article is called "States Are Depriving Innocent People of Their Second Amendment Rights." And this is from the November 2019 issue. It's written by Jacob Sullum. And I'm not going to read the whole article outright.
Good. I'm sorry.
Let's thank the
Cheers. Thank you.
Cheers. I'm just going to cover some of the highlights that I thought were so important to really note. You know, why are we doing this? Like, why did we choose to focus on this issue with red flag laws? Why are we, trying to raise money to do film and stuff like that? When you hear this, again, some of this will be old for you, but when you hear some of these stories, you're going to realize this is serious. So they note here in the article, shortly after 5 a.m. on Monday, here, I got you. Shortly after, nice. Shortly after 5 a.m. on November 5th, 2018, 2 police officers arrived at Gary Willis's house in Glen Burnie, Maryland. They were there to take away his guns, and they ended up killing him instead. So again, for contextualization, right? These police officers in Maryland came to this guy's house at 5 a.m., right? Most people probably pretty tired at that time. I'm sure there's plenty of early risers who have early jobs. You might be up. But for most people, it's still pretty early. Crack of dawn, probably not awake for a lot of people. Wow. So basically, he was at his house. He was awakened by the officers. He answered the door with a gun because, again, when someone's banging on your door at 5 a.m., you're like, who is banging on my door at 5 a.m.?
Banging. You know that cop knock?
That cop, oh my gosh. Yeah, when you get nervous, you're like.
It's not a light little knock. It's like.
When your friends do that, boom, 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 you're like, come on. seriously, stop doing that cop knock. But I'm sure that's what they were doing. Yeah. So he was
startled.
Right. It was the Anne Arundel County Police Department. Sorry, I butchered the name. But he was 61. He's an older guy. He had just been awakened, they think. He put the gun down when he saw who was there, but he had heard that they had come to serve an extreme risk protective order, or ERPO. And it barred him from possessing firearms, just based on some family members, report, he could be a risk to himself. Again, this guy was not charged with a crime. He was not accused of making threats against anybody in particular. He was not accused of forming some plan with a specific end to go kill and murder somebody or blow up something. Just literally, it could be a threat, So he became irate.
Wasn't it his sister?
It was a relative. I gotta look at the article to find out. Just because it's been a while since I've read it.
Yeah.
But basically, he picked up the weapon again because he's like, so these cops might be coming to shoot me or take me away, or So one officer tried to wrestle the gun out of his hand, and it went off, and the other officer shot him. So again, just because this guy is like, what the heck's going on? Why are you banging on my door at 5 a.m. and saying you could take my guns? They shot him.
Right.
So
when he didn't do anything.
Right. No charge of a crime, no allegation of violence.
He didn't hurt the family member who called.
Mm-hmm.
He never hit the person. They just said, what did they say? They just thought he might be a danger.
And actually, so you're right. It was a complaint from his sister who reportedly obtained the temporary ERPO after a family argument, which he said something alarmed her. Again, there was no actual threat. It was just she decided to be like, maybe I'll call the police, because a lot of people think, if there's a problem, I'll just call the police and they'll come solve it.
They've been indoctrinated, like I was in public school, to think that the police are your friend and that they are here to primarily protect you, and that they're very kind, when in fact they're trained to look for a crime if a crime's been committed and see any reason to say that you've done something wrong. So that's usually their view.
Exactly. So a lot of people have that mistaken belief. They call police and then they come and shoot them and their dog. So there's another instance that Reason Magazine reported on. It said Chris Velasquez, a University of Central Florida student who owned no firearms, had no history of violence, and never even threatened anyone, but apparently was a target of the red flag laws because he basically made some troll posts on Reddit. And, they talked to him, they came after him and were like, this guy's a threat. But because he was, making some jokes online and Reddit, they decided to go after him. Again, First Amendment speech, no specific threats toward any individual, just general statements and the like. In addition to him, I'm just here scrolling through the article.
Wait, let's just check the YouTube really quick.
Sure.
Because I remember we missed.
We didn't. We haven't missed anything otherwise. So.
Okay, cool.
Cool. All right, we good. But of course, if anybody wants to support, absolutely. While we're going through this article.
That, let me,
you got loaded. All right. One more mag here.
Oh. I'm on my own. This makes it really easy.
Obviously, this is not normally how you do it, at a rounded table. It's a little bit harder, but you still
but it's still satisfying.
It's still very satisfying. So what mag is that? Is that number 3?
Yeah.
Nice.
Number
3 of, what do we got? 5 total? Or is it 4 total? Yeah. 5. Wow.
Thank you.
Thank you. Yes. Thank you for your support. Again, it's going to be used to help us continue the project, do the pitch video and do the finalization of things. So, all right.
I'm really excited. I'm really hoping that we can really help change people's minds to just respect people and allow people to do whatever they want so long as they're not hurting anybody else.
Mm-hmm.
That's it. And other than that, the world can be such a beautiful place. Just stop hurting other humans.
Right. So this one in particular, very much concerned me because just the context of the situation is so bizarre and scary.
Yeah, right.
So apparently in Broward County, Florida, and again, the person who reported this to Reason Magazine was a lawyer. So he said that one of his clients who was living in Broward County posted a photo of an AR-15 rifle he had built. So, and it came with a comment that was, it's done, hooray, because he had just done his build and it was cool.
This is the example. Someone who just likes guns, made no threat against anybody, literally was just enthusing the fact that he built his own AR.
Right. And on another occasion, again, in some other, comment, he had simply criticized the gun control activists who were marching for, March for Our Lives, some of the teenagers who are marching in Broward County. Again, just criticizing them, not saying he's threatening to shoot them, not saying like, oh, I'm going to go kill somebody. Literally just saying like a political statement saying, oh, yeah, this is just wrong. That plus an AR. And the Broward County Sheriff's Office went and took his guns under a red flag. Now, fortunately, although it's scary.
Same county, and isn't this the same sheriff's department?
Parkland?
Yeah, yes, that was
right. Of course,
responsible for handling
through and through. Right, through and through. Corrupt.
I just hear about Broward County a lot, like whether it's like back when DeSantis was going up against Gillum for the Florida governorship, there was like talks of voting fraud in Broward County. So.
Right. So exactly, it's something that
corrupt.
Exactly.
Just
that
like
keeps
Miami-Dade.
Right. It's one of those counties that is one of those corrupt counties, just like LA County,
right.
in New York City. It's one of these ever since, especially Parkland, keeps coming up. So basically, this guy posts those things. Cops take his guns, and those two posts alone got a temporary restraining order. Now, again, fortunately, the judge dropped the case. And he had a lawyer to help him out. But the fact that he even had to deal with that over just social media posts that literally would not threaten anybody is very concerning.
It is. And it's fortunate that he had that particular judge.
Mm-hmm.
He could have had a different judge.
He could have had a bad judge and would have gone to appeal, stuff like that. So again, this is happening in many different states. There are many states at this point that, from my understanding, have red flag laws all across, of course, the West Coast. The East, Northeast especially, there's quite a few. Illinois, I think Indiana has one, and so forth. Of course, Florida has one, mentioning these issues that Reason covered. So again, this is something that not only is, starting to become prevalent, but is absolutely downright terrifying because police are using this not simply, to go after someone who's like legit about to like go kill somebody. So, and then Robert says, Idaho doesn't currently have a red flag law. Yes.
Oh, thanks, Robert.
Yeah, stake to goods. There's still many states that don't. But again, we're seeing this trend coming. That there's many people who are in state legislatures and governorships that are caving this. It's very scary. And we have to push back against this because, again, when we're seeing people being killed, people having their guns taken just for social media posts that literally are not threats against anybody. Literally just, hey, look at this AR that I built. Pretty cool, huh? This is crazy. And in addition, they also cover, I believe,
it's outrageous.
That an 8-year-old.
Just imagine that happens to your dad, who just likes guns, and he's been your dad your whole life, and he never hurt you, and he just loved. He even took you out shooting and showed you how to hunt. You know what I mean? And this happens to your dad because some coworker that just doesn't like him for whatever reason is like, oh, I saw that he has guns. He's a danger, and they can just make up whatever they want. Oh, he's a dangerous man, and you see your dad get shot.
Right.
At 5 a.m. in the middle of the night, in the morning, when he's just confused and he's just, what's going on? And he's just been living peacefully. It's just really outrageous.
No, and absolutely, it is outrageous. And in fact, not only is there, those issues that we mentioned, but even there was a 8-year-old who got charged under the red flag statute. An 8-year-old. And the mom was like, he doesn't even have a BB gun. But the reason why he got charged was because he was being bullied by kids at school, right? So again, this kid was being actually assaulted by other students in school. He didn't have an outlet because I think he doesn't have a lot of social support. And he's like, I'll shoot you.
Being 8?
Yeah.
Like, that's a really young age.
It's a very tender age.
It's like, from what, in my own personal life, I'd only been conscious for about 3 or 4 years. In my whole life when I was 8 years old, because I was conscious around like 4, so it's like you're just new to the world and it's scary and confusing, and this kid was being bullied, but instead in a public school system, instead of focusing and giving compassion to a child and be like, well, what's going on, what's happening at home, what happened at school, it's more like, oh, we got to make sure you don't get to guns.
We got to red flag you, even though you're 8 years old, can't legally buy a gun, don't have a BB gun. And your mom's like, he was being bullied. Yeah. And maybe we should, talk about this in more of like a parental, like, okay, that's not the best thing to say. Let's redirect how you talk. I mean, it's just absolutely crazy. So, whoa. And that's a speed load right there. So
I wish you guys could see it on Facebook.
Well, we'll give them the YouTube link.
Hard to do it in there. Can YouTube see it?
YouTube can see it, I believe. I don't know if we'll find out if you're too far back. I thought we moved it back enough. We'll look in just a moment here. Yeah. You You could definitely see it.
Oh, okay, great. Yeah, so Facebook, go to YouTube.
Yeah, Facebook, go to YouTube. We'll give you
the RSV loader. It's hard to load up, but YouTube has the down view.
So again, yeah, if you want to go from Facebook to YouTube, definitely do that because you can see more. All right, so an 8-year-old was being targeted. I mean, there are people being targeted in just the most ridiculous ways. It's becoming this tool for basically anyone that you don't like. Oh, just red flag them, right? And it's going to be exponentially worse when you have states like California where they are literally about to empower basically anybody, any stranger, your coworker, a teacher, whatever, to say that you're a threat, even though you haven't done anything.
For punishing people who do it maliciously,
right,
or who do it falsely or didn't really think.
No meaningful recourse, no lawsuit, no, you're going to get damages automatically by default.
Right.
Someone here says they said it's like Minority Report, and yes, that is exactly what this is. That's why we're so passionate about this. That's why we're like, okay, we have to focus on this, because if we don't focus on this, we're talking about something
we may not have a future.
Yeah, we're not going to have a future.
We may just be criminals, and I don't want to live in a world where I can't defend myself.
Or even speak about your passions, or the fact that you would defend yourself. Like, how crazy is that? Oh, hey, I like guns, I like shooting. Oh, well, you're a danger now because you like guns. I would defend myself. Oh, you must be wanting to kill people. It's as crazy
as calling and swatting, which is the term for calling a SWAT team to somebody's house and saying, oh, they have something wrong. That's what the red flag laws are, really. You're sending multiple men basically with guns. It's no different than swatting somebody.
Yeah, the red flags they're swatting. It's legalized swatting, and that's a good way to put it. And that reflects swatting. Again, for those of you who might be new here, didn't see, again, part of the branding here represents exactly that. Well. That's how we took the cues from is that typical, again, here YouTube
red flag.
You know what I mean? The reality is that you're going to get swatted. You're going to get shot and killed by the police. And again, here you go, Facebook. I know it's reverse. Sorry, Facebook. They don't do the Android flip. But basically, that is the reality. It's a bunch of cops pointing a gun at you and threatening to kill you just because, you like guns. You're vocal about the fact that you like the Second Amendment, or that you like, freedom to shoot guns and build guns and just like gun culture. Yeah. So.
Yeah, and I'm tired of them depicting that it's just bad. That the only kinds of people would be interested in guns are quote incels who are just in their mom's basement and they're just like ready to shoot up a school. Like, that's not the majority of gun owners. Actually, a lot of gun owners are just parents. They believe and feel empowered to be able to defend themselves and their family and not have to rely on the police coming and hoping that they get police officers who will actually run in and save them. Because as you saw in the Parkland shooting, you can even call the police and they may not even come in to save you while you're being shot up. So I would much rather have a gun and, not have be in a situation where I ever need to use it than to be in a situation where I need a gun and I don't have one. And I'm just stuck hiding in a corner and just hoping that somebody saves me. I don't want to live in that world. So, we realized this year really that if things don't significantly change in terms of gun culture in America, the peaceful gun owners that we have in America today are in extreme danger of being killed.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, I mean, and that's what's happening, because it's just like, we talk a lot about here, the Chinese government, the CCP, and they're rounding people up in gulags, concentration camps. They're disarmed. They're totally controlled. All this stuff actually is what is coming to America. The social credit system, the big. Well, I mean, it already exists, but we're talking about in a more open way where the government just admits it. Oh yeah, we're taking all your data outright.
And doesn't let you cross the street because your social credit score in their eyes is too poor, so you can't cross the street.
Right.
You can't leave the country because you said something bad about the government on Facebook, or you can't leave the country or go to another state because you posted about guns. And we don't want a gun culture in America. Like, that's the level that they're trying to get out. That's the insanity that they have. So you have people like Beto O'Rourke being like, nobody needs an AR. Nobody except the military. The military can have ARs to kill people overseas, but nobody else. Just the government.
I always love when like, oh, you can't have those weapons of war, and it's like, oh, okay. So just to be clear, you love it when people get murdered in war, right? When soldiers are killing kids overseas, just not here, right? Okay. It's like the
these are really evil
white
people.
leftist, elitism you can possibly imagine. Like imagine the most crusty Sandy Hook mom's man action mom you can possibly imagine. Like, oh, I just think that the soldiers should have the guns and they should be able to kill whoever they want, so long as I can, be in my gated community.
Yeah, exactly. And as long as it doesn't affect me and they don't bring the battlefield near my house, I'm fine. If you keep it over there in the Middle East and I don't feel the bombings, then I'm all for it. Go ahead with those drones. That's literally how these people are. They're watching from their ivory towers,
Mm-hmm.
They're just watching and they just don't care because they don't have to live in the filth. They don't have to live in very unsafe conditions. So, yeah. All right.
Yeah. So what do you got? All right. So yeah, let's go ahead. Let's rack it up.
This is the last one.
Is this the last one? Okay.
Yeah, this is the last one. Yes. We also worked out today, so
yeah.
Feeling extra strong.
Extra strong.
And tired.
So wait, was that the last one? So could you show off everybody because they need to see what you've done? Let's see what you got so far.
So 1.
Yeah.
2 and a see-through.
Yes, I love those when you can see through it. I just think
because you can see.
It just looks good.
It emptying as you empty it. 3, and I don't have the ability to hold. Oh, actually, I do. And 5. We got 5 mags. Thank you. And yeah, it's pretty nuts that there are people who think just having a mag that holds more than 10 rounds is dangerous. And nobody needs that. When in fact, none of these people shoot. They don't realize that when you go to the range, you want as many mags as you can, so that you can maximize the range time. So you don't have to sit there for 10 seconds. I mean, sure, if you have the speed loader with you, you can. But that is an invention that arose from a need in the market. Right. So, but usually you don't want to lug this to the range. It's pretty heavy, and you just want to be loaded up, ready to go. So, all right. Well, that was really fun. I'm going to start loading the 6th one because we have 13. So, cool.
All right. So, let's see here. So anybody who's just new here, who's just joined on again, we've been reviewing over our update here for the Red Flag Reality Project. Basically, now we have a website up that you can check out. redflagreality.com, and over there, of course, you're able to kind of see what we've prototyped. We have a bunch of different tiers of support that we want to go through with our ultimate goal, and then possibly more with the stretch goals. So again, redflagreality.com is what's to check out. And if you haven't yet, we're also going to now, for those of you who are interested, let you know that you could also like the Facebook page for Red Flag Reality. So, obviously we'll be using other, social media channels as that to update things, but we also want to have a main page that you can kind of stop by for little updates and things like that, in addition to the website. So if you would, I'm going to go ahead and share that now. This is the Facebook for Red Flag Reality, for those of you in the YouTube threads. And
basically there's a lot of ways to keep updated.
Yes,
I always post the updates here to my page, but if you're looking for, I just want to go to one place and just know about this particular project that we're working on, then you can sign up for the Facebook page, or rather just like it and follow it.
Right. So, we'll be updating through everything, but you'll be able to see it all through the major channels, Philosopher and other stuff. Volunteers will share it there, or whatever. I'll share it to, wherever Anarchy launches this or that. But basically, we want everybody to see what it is that we're going to be up to with this, and to just, be following along as we get closer to the actual launch. Because as it stands, it's going to take some time to finish up what we need to do in terms of creating the actual fundraiser, doing some of the imagery. We want to do a proper pitch video. So again, the support, thank you so much that, you've sent us through the YouTube super chats. Is going to help us do that, make a nice video. That's a good pitch video that's going to look professional.
We already have a piece of it done.
So, well,
top secret. We don't have a piece of
it. We don't have a piece of it, but no, all right. So there's a little something that I already worked on that, again,
okay,
in our next
I'll
update,
change the topic, don't worry.
In our next update video, we'll give you another update about that. I'm still working on it. I'm gonna refine something with it but you'll like it. So in any case,
okay, I'll change the topic. Someone said hello from Someone said hello from Taiwan. So there you go.
Hello from Taiwan. No, we're still on the topic of we have more good stuff to slowly unveil to you as we move through with the progress. Yeah. But again, there's a serious project. It's going to take a couple months of working through those things. But as you've seen here, YouTube and Facebook, we've shared with you the work so far, the layout of the things, the branding, and what we're going to go through. So again, thank you everybody who supported us and made it possible for us to be able to actually go through, create the legal structures, get the website up, get the branding up, and now give you a sense of our vision so you can be on board with us when we're actually doing that. And you're going to, I think, really like what we have come out next as relates to some more teasers. I hope you guys are as excited
as we are to at least have this launched.
Right.
And I'm really excited to see what we can produce. My goal is that we get this fully funded and we can make that film that really depicts what the red flag laws are about and where they're headed.
My goal actually personally is I would love to see it that we have a huge coalition of support, a broad base, and we not only fund Red Flag Reality, but all the sub videos. So if we can actually do the whole fundraising for every single video, I mean, imagine that if we can have, what is it? We have six. Whoa. I mean, it's just crazy to think about the six potential video projects that we could launch leading up to the 2020 election just to educate people and just demonstrate the absurdity of red flag laws and what's actually being done in practical reality. And also to push back against the gun grabbers and just, really show people that all you're advocating for is violence against innocent people. You're not solving the problems of helping people have healthier relationships. You're not solving the problems of people, being better parents. You're not solving the problems of people being better able to take care of themselves and defend themselves if they get attacked. So again,
and you're not ending gun violence. You're actually advocating for more. You're just advocating for more gun violence from the state towards innocent, peaceful people.
Right. Exactly. So it's like, it's one of those things that I think really, its time has come. Like if we don't do this here and now, we are, unlike what Greta says, like, oh, you only have this many years to live, or like AOC, we have 12 years to live. That's BS.
To take a note from Greta, people are dying. Literally from these red flag laws.
Yes, unlike what they're saying, we actually can sit there and say, hey, here's the piece of legislation. Oh, hey, here's the police doing the enforcement. Oh, hey, here, this guy got killed. Oh, this guy got his guns taken. We can actually show the evidence of what we're talking about. We're not just making this up. And we don't wish that we could show the evidence. We wish that there was no evidence. But the problem is there is this evidence. We have the actual laws being implemented. We have people who are dying, people losing their rights over literally First Amendment core issues, and every single element of whatever you want to think about, the Bill of Rights or your individual rights, it's being eroded by red flag. Red flag is an attack on free speech. It's an attack on the Second Amendment. It's an attack on your Fourth Amendment. It is an absolute destruction. This is the worst thing that's happened since the war on drugs. Straight up. The red flag laws is the worst thing to happen since the war on drugs. And the war on drugs was devastating.
I was actually thinking 9/11.
Absolutely devastating.
Because 9/11 was the backdrop for the surveillance and the TSA.
Certainly that is a bad thing too. That gives them the apparatus, but in terms of the legal structure, in terms of what they're actually doing in action, the war on drugs said, "Oh, you don't have a Fourth Amendment right if it's related to drugs, or you're in a high crime area, so we can just stop you." Right? There was secret courts of FISA and stuff like that, and of course the spying and stuff. And that's very bad, of course, on its own. But in terms of the actual directive violence, right? The 9/11 was we'll create these
people into criminals,
right? So. The war on drugs absolutely fueled that, created a huge prison system, created all kinds of destructions to everybody's fundamental rights, and eroded it all in the name of fighting, drugs. Right. Meanwhile, all the different senators are out there, doing children on Epstein's island, snorting cocaine off of, whoever underage
girl they're doing. That story just went away, huh?
Right. So, you know what I mean? These people are literally the most evil dirtbags you can possibly imagine, trying to take away our peaceful implementation of just wanting to be able to defend ourselves and of course enjoy things that we like without hurting anybody innocent.
We don't go around the world policing everybody.
Right.
We just live our lives. In fact, we even try to promote peace even more. Peaceful parenting, peace amongst humans. And it's just pretty crazy. We just got to call it out and take back the words that all the tyrants are using to justify more statism.
Right.
It's so sickening, the statists they use, especially the politicians, they use the words like liberty and freedom. Like I saw Eric Swalwell, a House representative, go to Hong Kong and wore a shirt that says Free Hong Kong. But this is the same guy that is also for gun control. So it's like, let's have freedom for Hong Kong, but not anyone who, wants firearms and doesn't and wants to own the gun that I don't want in people's hands. So
right.
It's just so sick to see him be like, oh, I love freedom. It's like, no, you don't. If you love freedom, you wouldn't be advocating for peaceful people to be made into criminals just for possessing certain kinds of property.
Right.
So.
And Andrew Lancourt, thank you so much for your support. He says, make liberty great again. Also, everyone who can should go to the Second Amendment rally on November 2nd in Washington, D.C. Well, and I definitely appreciate the people who are going. That's a wonderful thing. Do I think it'll change things? Personally, no. I think advocating, change to individuals will, do the most. But again, there's nothing wrong with that. Meeting, like-minded people, organizing, whatever. I mean, again, anything and everything's great. I think that, it's just really important to show solidarity. So again, if anybody's going to that event, that's a wonderful thing. And I definitely will be checking out coverage of that. So. I thought you were about to say something. No. Oh, okay, perfect. So, but actually on that note, then if we're going to talk about, organized protests and things like that, for me, I think that something we would like to do along the lines of the Red Flag Rally project that we're already, working toward is we would like to do decentralized protests. That is people
cheers, Andrew. Thank you.
Yes. Cheers, Andrew. That is decentralized protest. People just actually going out wherever they are around the United States, whatever state they're in, just go out to your, a nearby safe street corner, holding up signs on the same hour, same day across the United States. Again, just something like that where people suddenly have this awareness, this awakening moment, talking about the issues. I think that's definitely going to be something that's effective and necessary coming up this year.
And having it be decentralized is important, because then you don't have a huge area. Mm-hmm. There's not a risk that you have people crowding. Other people are just trying to get through.
Right.
So when you just call a mass of people to one place, you can have the issues of traffic, and that ends up alienating people to your cause. So if you do it where you're not obtrusive to others, but nonetheless, it will be a huge statement because it's just all around in different pockets. So that would be
right. Really and decentralizing the protest also prevents, government agents from trying to stop people for having a big rally and stuff like that. Like if you just have people this,
you don't have a permit.
Right. You don't have a permit for this rally.
One guy. I mean,
right. When you go to different street corners, they can't stop you. You're also to hire, from a constitutional perspective, legal protection for just walking along sidewalks and just holding a sign. So again, you do it decentralized, then people start passing it. They see it on the road. They see, protesters at one corner, and then they drive a little bit further. They see protests another. It really has a big impact. Yeah. And actually, someone asked right here, he said, Wicked Perfect. He said, your website doesn't allow for me to donate. Yes, we don't have a donate option or a support option, whatever you could say, on the website yet, because we haven't actually launched the project. The actual fundraiser is not up yet. This is actually just the pre-funding. In other words, we've been doing all the designs and branding and giving people a vision of what we're about to do. And then we're going to launch that all together with a very proper and prim, production video that, pitches what we're trying to do. So
and then I see Steven,
but you can do super chats.
Right. And I see Steven was responding to him and saying that just basically that same thing. It's not up yet. The campaign's not out, but apparently Steven tried to send a super chat, but it hasn't showed up.
And I understand. Someone said, I don't want YouTube to have a cut of it. Completely understand. YouTube has its own problems. But at the same time, since we're here and we have the opportunity to use this platform and to be able to reach people
who are here,
we're not going to be upset about that fact. Again, as long as we're here, we're getting support with a great service. We are thankful, to YouTube for that opportunity to be able to use this. It's not the only thing we use, but we're definitely would not be in favor, in favor of some of the stuff that maybe we do in terms of some of their core people, but we are thankful for the opportunity to actually use a device. And again, that's the free market. Sometimes I use things that I don't agree with the person politically, but I enjoy the product or service. And, I got to choose what I can, judiciously in terms of, where my money goes to support things. But we do appreciate the fact that at least for now, we can still use YouTube and still use super chats and still, talk to you directly and host these, kind of informal conversations about the project and what we're doing. So,
yeah. All right. Well, I don't see it. Someone said they sent 20, but I just don't see it. I mean, we got the other ones. Did anyone try to send and experience the same issue? But I would just say make sure that you don't get charged if it really didn't show up.
Yeah, of course. Absolutely.
Yeah, because I don't see it. I scrolled through and maybe it was a glitch. But thank you so much. And someone said we appreciate what you're doing. I appreciate your guys' support and just following along. Some of you have been here for the past 4 years since 3 years since I started.
Going on 4.
Yeah, going on 4. So just thank you so much. I I really hope that we can live in a world of freedom and do funner things, enjoy the world of peace and prosperity. But right now we got to push back the rise of authoritarianism. So I guess that's always a pressure, huh?
It is always a pressure, but I mean, obviously,
history.
With what we're doing here, again, with our specific projects here, we think that there is a good chance that we can be successful against the tides of people who are trying to just, erode and erase the rest of, the Second Amendment and, right to bear arms and the First Amendment. And I think the reason why that opportunity is there is because those who are in state power have never been more ridiculed in America. There certainly is a widespread distrust of the government. There is, especially a growing
part to the internet,
right? Because of the internet, because people can see this information more openly and robustly.
Which is why the statists are freaking out.
Right. That's why they want to censor it. That's why they want to red flag people. Right.
They want to have IP laws to prevent memes from being created.
Right. So they realize that people are waking up and are, very clearly seeing the manipulations, the deceptions by those in state power, and how they're just flat out lying many of the times, to get people to support whatever it is they want, whether it's gun confiscation or censorship or just steal your money or promoting the next war.
That tide is what the Trump team rode on to get Trump elected. They were appealing to all the people who are critical of CNN, MSNBC, and all those corporate press news outlets that they were really outspokenly critical of them. And Trump, in his speeches, was intentionally trying to appeal to people who are tired of corruption, who are tired of socialism. He spoke against Obamacare. He spoke out against war. I said speak down. But he spoke out against war and interventionism, and so.
Yeah, no, I mean, he
really was appealing to that wave, though, of people who are critical and
right.
Like, oh, fake news.
Right, and that's the thing is, that genuine distrust of government, fortunately, was perverted for more government, unfortunately, and as typically is expected of anybody who's running for office.
Yeah.
So that's why we're
we just found the most popular wave to run.
Right. That's why we're trying to work on that, specific mindset of changing minds and helping people wake up and realize your solution's not going to come from government. Your solution's not going to come from a politician. Yeah. Your salvation's not coming from there. They are there just to exploit you and to take away your rights.
Yeah. And I want to say too that this is also a good opportunity. This project, this Red Flag reality film project, it's a good opportunity to bring to a broader audience the ideas behind why every individual should have the right to defend themselves how they see fit, why each individual has property rights, so long as they're respecting the body and property rights of others. It gives this chance to bring those principles that underlie all the Bill of Rights to the surface, to a more general audience, because, hopefully we can do the more skit-like videos, especially I'm really hoping we can do the film video so that we can, reach a broader audience who's not likely to click on a presentation video, and say, okay, let me hear reason and evidence for a position that I'm against, most people are against it. But if it's like, whoa, this catches my eye, or, oh, it's actors and there's action or whatever, it's more likely that you'll have people watching just for the pure production value, really, and just trying to understand what it is. So we have a chance to, bring to light the principle of self-ownership and property rights and what it truly means to be a free individual and have your rights and consent respected. So I'm also looking forward to that, and I'm hoping it gets people to wake up who didn't realize it before, that the right to own guns means you also, it's from the right to own yourself. You have the right to your body, to do with it as you please. It's yours. You own it, and you also own all the repercussions of your actions as well. So it's just promoting this idea that every single individual has the right to their own body, and thus they shouldn't violate anybody else's, to be consistent.
Right. And the Sasquatch here said, "Is there a timetable yet?" And
yes,
roughly. So specifically on the timetable in terms of like if you're talking about the production stuff for us, I believe it will take us a couple more months before we're finished with having everything laid out and all the things set up and shooting the actual pitch video so that we can actually launch that properly. My guess, though, as it stands, again, assuming everything goes properly, was that it would probably be something within the January window that we'd be able to actually launch it. And then that campaign would probably run for like 60 days. So it'd be 2 months from then, and then there'd be production thereafter, which would last maybe 3 months, 4 months tops. And then things would, of course, then come out and be released. Hopefully, June, July, August arena. Would be when those films actually would
but definitely we want it to come out before the election.
Yeah, well before. Yeah, exactly. Like well before the elections. At least
so people can see it and vote accordingly.
At least a good month or two before elections would be perfect. Because then everybody's really engaged and looking at stuff like that and sharing and things like that. So right. So so it's going to take some work, but we've worked on these types of productions before because obviously ANCAP Grind, the music video, we did that. It took a number of months to put together.
But it's time might be of the essence. Just saying, definitely.
Absolutely.
Really, the main thing that we're trying to launch everything, as we said, is publish it, get it all posted out and shared.
Right.
At least 1 to 2 months before the election.
Yeah, I would say possibly even more months before
June
that.
To July. So
yeah, because again, we are going to be working very efficiently to make sure that everything that needs to get arranged gets arranged, all the whatever it is process to that. So obviously within the campaign too, we'll be able to get a direction early on. Like when we see where the fundraising levels are going, we're going to know right away. Oh, okay, it looks like we're going to hit these levels. We're going to be at this level, so we'll be focused on getting everything we need for that to go. But I anticipate that if everything goes as well as even like the stateless productions, beyond the state documentary film, beyond the monopoly of violence.
We'll just specifically focus on the philosophy of voluntarism and anarcho-capitalism.
Right. So I think if we're within that ballpark or greater, which I think is quite plausible because there's lots of people, even beyond like our core circle of people that we normally talk to and see who are just really tired of the gun grabber rhetoric. They're tired of Moms Demand Action. They're tired of seeing, David Hogg's ugly face.
Yeah.
They're ready to shove it right back down their throats. And that's what we're going for.
There are people beyond just libertarians
right.
or even like minarchists. Like you have some more statist people who do at least are just like, no, you got to respect the second and people's right to bear arms. Like there are people who actually get that.
Yeah.
Despite them, being statist in other ways.
There's a much bigger broad base
audience
for this. And that's what we hope too, is that at the end of the day, we want to unify everybody under that banner, which is that we're not going to take this anymore. The idea that we should be demonized for enjoying guns is just outright unethical. The idea that we should be, seen as someone who's like waiting to murder.
You should be demonized because evil. You go to jujitsu or you learn Krav Maga or you learn karate. Like that's the level. It's the same thing. That's what they're trying to say. Is like you're just a criminal simply for wanting to defend yourself, and that's what they want people to think.
Right. So and that's what we're ultimately pushing back against, and we're going to do it in a manner again that is like taking what Sandy Hook Promise has done and just taking that dramatization, just turning it on their heads to the point where they're going to be speechless and they're going to sit there. As I said before, they'll be like, oh, this is the NRA. The NRA is funding them or this or that. But it's like, no, we just are literally regular people with other regular people who are tired and we're not going to take it anymore.
Ad hominem.
Yeah, we
not an argument.
we have had enough. We are not going to take it anymore. We are going to literally push back and fight back in the information war against the demonization of gun owners.
So
and
if
people
you guys
who enjoy
want to help
culture.
support Sasquatch's right, time is of the essence. We've been moving as fast as we can, and thanks to a lot of your support, we've been able to move faster than we've been wanting to. Faster than we thought. So
absolutely,
so thank you. And if you don't want to support through the super chats, makes sense. There are ways to support me if you want to join any of the support tiers on my Patreon, Subscribestar, and for crypto users, I have Float, which is Float actually acquired Bitbacker. If any of you are familiar with Bitbacker, it was like a Patreon service but it's a subscription service with just crypto.
So, right. So again, this is the link for just general support. But again, there's going to be a specific campaign for Red Flag Reality because we want to, focus that and pitch that properly. But if you want to support in the meantime, just because, you're with us in spirit and you're like, okay, let me just help whatever I can until, it gets launched. We absolutely appreciate it. And it is being used, as you've definitely have seen in the work we do and in the, the website and the branding, other stuff. We're very serious. It's no joke. And we take it very seriously.
Camera recently, and we'll be able to increase our production as we go even more slowly. So everything helps if you want to support and also get some perks with it, like joining our hangouts once a month. Well, really, it's just me and other supporters, not Jack.
Right. Yeah.
And so you can go there if you want to see that, or behind the scenes, or if you want to actually be in videos and have a shout out in them, feel free to check that out. So thank you. We really appreciate it all.
And we appreciate those who have already been supporting you directly through whatever it was Patreon, subscribe to our float, whatever, direct support that has really helped you be able to increase your quality of output, better the equipment you use so it looks better, sounds better, and things like that, and get more effective outreach. And this is just another part of that progression, is that we want to take it to the next level. Work with, very, high quality professional cinematographer and deliver an amazing video that you're going to just want to share and revel in to finally have that like intellectual, psychological justice against all this gun grabber media nonsense that has been put out there, trying to make it seem like as if every single person who just likes guns is somehow evil and needs to be rooted out and needs to be locked in a cage. I mean, this is just, it's absolutely insane. And so, we want to be your tool as a voice in that vein. There's lots of other great gun groups, as we say, Second Amendment Foundation, FPC, Firearms Policy Coalition, Gun Owners of America, and stuff like that. They're doing separate things. Our thing is unique. We're doing something that they're not doing. We're doing something they can't do because they don't have the ability to move in the way we do in terms of production and just having no holds barred, telling these gun grabbing groups that we're not going to take it.
Being principled. So, we don't say law-abiding citizen on this channel, okay? We don't say, only law-abiding citizens. No, you know why? Because there are laws that are unjust, and following them is wrong. So
right. So is this then? I think we're gonna load this on up, huh?
That's about left 20.
How many do we have right now?
23.
Does anybody want to top it off with, what is it, 7 rounds? 7 rounds on the super chats. Just 7 more rounds.
And then
that's all that's left.
We can finish the
finish with the mag. But okay. So basically, we are, here just doing what we can because we know exactly what is about to come. So, this is something that's gonna take a lot.
Freedom-abiding citizens. Yes.
Yeah. It's going to take a lot of effort.
Yeah. Honestly, I just like to say peaceful gun owners. I just like to say it what it is. They are attacking peaceful gun owners.
Right.
That's what it is. That's why I just don't like law abiding, because most people break some laws, by the way.
Everybody does. I mean, there's a book about 3 felonies a day.
They turn right when they shouldn't have. They did a California stop, right? People do that. Because they see nobody, and that's broke with law. So, most people aren't law abiding anyway. So if you want to use that, well, you're not going to get many people who are owning guns.
Right.
But yeah.
So
I guess that would include people in the state too, though. But of course, they don't follow their own rules. So that's why you don't let the state enforce the rules.
Yeah, market rules are definitely an improvement, but one step down. Oh, the Sasquatch. Oh my goodness, Sasquatch.
Oh, thanks. He took one.
Cheers. He took one. Oh my goodness,
like,
ridiculous.
Thanks, Sasquatch.
All right, thank you.
Cheers.
Cheers to that.
I do enjoy claws. I mean, this stuff sells out quick. We tried the True.
Truly is no good.
I saw some of you guys mentioning some other ones. Someone said Earthquake is better than White Claw. I've never seen a drink called Earthquake, but I'll keep an eye out on it if I see it. So far, we've had 2 other variations. I know it's just 2, but it's just not the same. It's just not the same.
Oh my God. Well, now you got to load this up with 7 more rounds and rack it up.
Wrap it up. All right. Thank you. My chair is squeaky. I can hear
it. Yes, that's why Jesse's got bourbon. Very nice.
Oh, that's awesome. Oh,
much more classy than the clothes.
He was like, I like my liver to be chopped. That's what he said.
Oh my goodness.
This is very light. This is just 5% alcohol, so I like it. If any of you were on the live streams for the Voluntarist comic campaign, that was funny. I was out and almost dangerous. I was doing shots.
Right.
I was having hot sauce that like made me feel like I was having a heart attack. That was a very fun campaign at the same time. But
oh my goodness.
Switch to the claws and I feel better.
That reminds me actually. So something that we do need feedback on and we do want to hear from you about is we want to hear some of the Oh, you got it? Here, yeah. I'll put the pressure there.
Yeah.
Nice. Okay. Very nice. We do need some food for thought about perks because this is going to be an interesting film project. And like with any, crowdsourced funding campaign, there's opportunities for interesting perks that we could put together and, kind of. Oh my goodness.
Oh, thanks,
Stephen Miller. He's important. I thought that was gonna be the last one, but
thanks.
So we do want feedback.
777. Very cryptic.
So he
wants. It's not 666.
That's right. So we do need some feedback for potential ideas for perks. We have some ideas about what we could do to offer to interest people. Possibly, we're thinking about some things, maybe a special showing or premiere or different.
We really like to hear props. What would you be interested in?
Yeah, so it's something that we definitely like to hear. What would you be interested in? Like, if you were supporting the campaign for the film, what kind of perks might interest you? So Facebook, you're welcome to throw that out there too. We're definitely interested to think about it. So someone said the pho dinner, exactly right. That was a thought too. Maybe a special group dinner of people who of certain supporters.
I'm gonna have a requirement that we all need a concealed carry.
Yeah, right. Someone said 3D printed mag, that could be cool, right? But of course, there's so many now legal issues. My goodness, it's like, yeah. So I was like, oh yeah, ship it to Maryland. Like, yeah, no, I'm good. But
Steven did say, and that dinner. Okay, cool. So we got 2 for the dinner.
So yeah, dinner could be interesting. Showing could be interesting. We're just thinking through some possible opportunities.
We thought of that already. Yeah. Doing a showing the day of and then having dinner afterwards to chat about it, how it goes, and
shooting at the range could be a thing too. We'll see. Yeah. We're thinking of some ideas, but definitely pho would be good. Oh, range day. Sasquatch says range day.
Okay. So I'm seeing a lot of interaction with us. That's cool.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, definitely.
I'm trying to think.
But we have things like printed, film stills, and
because this is something we're releasing on the internet. It's not like the documentary where we can send you a DVD.
It's not meant to be like a documentary, like DVD thing. It's just an internet, meant to be virally shared and all that good stuff. Mm-hmm. So, but so it's build and range day. Ooh, you know what I mean? Like, we go to places. Yeah, a day to custom your own AR, and then I mean, you never know. We could figure something out. We got to think about that. That's a good question. But we have, we've been working through some ideas. We're going to see what makes sense. So
good night, lever guns.
Did you do that? Did you load that 10 for Stephen Miller? Did you do 10?
Right? Oh no, I didn't load it.
You gotta load that.
Did
before
I take a sip? No, I didn't. I'm sorry.
Load.
I did put the 10 on the board, and then I didn't mean to check off the 7. I'm sorry. I've drinking like a third. I get to blame the White Claw.
Blame the claw.
Blame it on the claws.
Oh my goodness.
Cheers to you. Thank you.
But no matter what, we just want it to be fun as well, because as much as it's scary to look at things and realize, if they don't change, it's going to be another mass democide and, history. There's lots of people who have been mass murdered in history and nobody hears from them, right? So it's like, do we want to be a part of the people that nobody remembers and they're just murdered and dead and that's it? Like under Mao and, or do you want to make a change?
People that you don't even know. Yeah. You never knew their suffering. Nobody knew.
It's sad.
Yeah. I can't help but think with my, I think about it from time to time, especially when it comes to talking about.
Here are the white mag.
Oh, okay.
Oops. So Steven said, I'm from Texas and you're loading a Cal mag? Definitely not. These mags are not Cal mags. These are definitely not Cal mags. Yeah.
That's 30.
Yeah, that would definitely not be a Cal mag.
Oh, by the way, so if we did do a range day, what's the best state to do it? Did you guys see there's a range in Kentucky? Thomas Massey talked about it. That was footage from that from like 3 years ago. Was used by CNN to be like, oh my gosh, look, the Turkish what rebels or something, whatever.
Oh my goodness,
are the ones.
It was a Turkish-Syrian fight. Like, oh, there's this conflict, and it was literally just like the Kentucky game. But I want to go. Oh, here we go. Sasquatch says, Paducah, Kentucky, and I want to go there actually because I'm like, okay, if you can do all that in the range,
right?
That would be a great place for me. That might be the place to meet up for something like that. That might be the place.
I've never been to Kentucky. That'd be cool.
Yeah,
be cool to check it out.
Yeah. Oh, Steven came in.
Okay.
He finished out the mag. Okay.
All right, thanks.
Great.
Thanks,
now I gotta
Steven.
go get another claw.
Paducah. All right, thanks to Sasquatch. Yeah, that would be cool. I mean, what other places? I remember seeing Keanu Reeves training for.
That was in Vegas, wasn't it?
Yeah, in Vegas, I believe.
Yeah.
What comes to mind is like Vegas, Texas, but Kentucky, yeah, that's pretty cool. What about Wyoming? They're pretty gun friendly, but I don't know. Probably have ranges. Be something to look up, you know. I wonder if what would make the most sense is choosing a state that's close to the center of the United States, because if you have people in the east or west,
I think we'll figure it out. I think we'll figure it out.
Yeah, but cool. That's cool that everyone is curious.
Yeah. I mean, it could also be in addition, like a place that is also fun, right? Because it's like if you're gonna go, I'm gonna do like a dinner / gun range day or something fun, you know, to celebrate the film project, like. A place that maybe someone vacation anyway, so it's like an excuse, like, oh, okay, you know, I was gonna visit Vegas or something anyway, so
right,
you know, something like that. Maybe a mix of the two. So.
Vegas also.
And Matt over here says Knob Creek. I think that.
Isn't that the one in Kentucky?
I think that might be the actual name of it. I forgot it was offhand, but
I've seen it before. Someone Lucas said, "Hey, lots of tannerite." Don't want to go to Kentucky. I want to know why. Why?
Yeah. Because didn't Kentucky just have that constitutional carry thing? Let me see. Let me just double check that.
All right, while you're doing that, I'll rack the last one.
Yes, it could be the last one unless someone comes in clutch and like does another one.
We do have 5 more men.
They did. They had constitutional carry come into effect in Kentucky just
right.
This year.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Also, saw tons of good legislation coming out of Texas.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean,
I love it.
Not gonna lie, I wouldn't be unhappy about that as being the game for a premiere /
Yeah.
Wow.
Texas would be cool. There's a little Saigon that I really want to go to in Dallas. Oh, I didn't finish it.
Yeah. There you go.
But there's a place they call it Little Saigon. You know, I've been to many Chinatowns, but I've never been to a Little Saigon. I would love to try like a bunch of different pho and spring rolls. In Dallas, Texas. Options.
Definitely good options, but all right. So show off all the different mags you loaded to say thank you to everybody who supported, because we do like to say thank you for thanking us in terms of mags. So mag measurement is definitely a great way to measure thanks. Great thanks. 4. Oh my goodness.
It's getting heavy.
It's getting pretty heavy.
Okay.
4 mags. I mean, we do still have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 mags left, but 6. That's strength right there. Thank you, Steven. Yes, thank you, Steven. Thank you, Sasquatch.
6.
Thank you, Renaissance Man.
I'm gonna put it down.
Thank you. I'm gonna try to say everybody.
Thank you.
Thank you. There's more people I can count.
Polaris.
Thank you.
Robert. Thank you, Robert.
Yes. Thank you, Andrew L.
Thank you,
Lancourt.
Andrew.
Thank you. Thank you to Sasquatch again for that second coming in clutch to finish it out. So, ALAS. What?
Alaska.
Are they going to say Alaska? I don't know. Alaska will be a little far and a little cold. Well, they do have some good culture, but my goodness.
Alasia?
But Lucas over here on Facebook says Arizona will be fire. That's true. Arizona, I think, was rated the number 1, gun-friendly state. So obviously a good one there too.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, we definitely know the states we're not going to. I mean, that's obvious. We're not going to New York. We're not going to New Jersey. Not going to California. Not going to Hawaii. Not going to Washington. We're not going to Maryland. We're not going to Delaware. We're not going to Connecticut. We're not going to Vermont. Right. So just some of those states that are definitely not Illinois either, right? So all those very super state estates with all them gun bans is a big no-no. So
not going to Chicago, exactly.
Yeah, definitely not going to any of them gun grabber places.
Someone said it's the best kept secret, Arizona, New Mexico. Yeah, you rarely hear about like Arizona in the news.
Yeah.
You always hear like Florida man was really common.
Florida man is a very common trope.
Stuff happening in Florida for some reason. It is a huge population, right?
Well, yeah, it's one of the largest, most populated states. You have California, New York, Texas, and Florida are the 4 of the most populated states. So.
Any Floridians? Anyone part of the Swamp Boogaloo crew?
Swamp Boogaloo crew. Oh my goodness. Well, hopefully we won't have to get to having a manifested Boogaloo crew, but obviously you got to prepare and hope for the best, So, because I mean, you've already been seeing right in the Hong Kong front, all those people who are getting beat up by Chinese triads for wanting freedom, they're getting murdered. People are being suicided, and the evidence does not show suicide. Like one guy was thrown from the balcony of a building, but his foot was already separated from his body as he was thrown out. So, yeah, I don't think that's suicide.
That's so insane.
So
I don't want to be thrown out. I want to at least have a chance and throw.
Yeah. So it's just one of those things that it's
fight back. Like that's how helpless. Just have your feet cut off, and you don't have weapons. You just have an umbrella and a laser, and you just get thrown off a building. Oh my gosh, it's just so wrong.
It's crazy, So we know that we're going to come under scrutiny.
And I want people to be discouraged. I want people like criminals to hear about stories of people defending themselves, and be discouraged from it.
Yeah. But we'll see. So thank you so much again, everybody, for being here. For again, YouTube, Facebook.
We loaded 7 mags.
We loaded up 7 mags. So thank you so much for that support. We're going to obviously be updating you next. The next time we update, I think we'll probably be
weeks.
Yeah, in a few weeks.
After we made some more progress.
Right, because the things I would like to show something next. So maybe something that's either video, audio related that will be on the website. Oops, sorry, the website. And maybe something more, hopefully, with maybe I gotta still work out some things, but hopefully maybe able to talk a little bit more about the cinematographer, and we could release that information. Just that
will be cool.
That would be cool. I would definitely
we could reveal the cinematographer. That would be cool.
Yeah.
If we got to reveal them, would we be able to show some of their work? And just
yes,
caliber basically.
So yes,
well, that will be exciting.
I gotta just touch base with him because he got busy. He had a new baby, so since he had a new baby, he got a little busy. So I've been waiting to.
I was intentionally saying they did not give away.
Yeah. Well, yeah, you got a baby.
Okay.
Yeah, whenever you have a baby, obviously
he's a guy.
You gotta take. Well, yeah, you're gonna see. Okay, yeah, but whatever. So, but basically, when you have a new baby, you gotta deal with that issue. And then he'll come back, and then we'll talk more about it. So
yeah,
we're revealing that. We'll talk about that.
We have people from Texas, from also California.
Yeah, sadly, escape before that bill comes into law. Yeah. Get out of there before 2020, and that red flag in California is going to really.
Arizona's close.
Go to Arizona, man. Go to Arizona.
And then Texas, a little far, and then Florida. Gosh, I mean, Bond here is really pushing in Florida for gun control. They're proposing a constitutional amendment, but right now they're just trying to get signatures. But you see that there's a push for gun control.
Right. And all different states, there's been major pushes and stuff like in New Hampshire,
Yes, New Hampshire, for example.
The legislature passed it, but the governor vetoed everything. Yeah.
These are states that are traditionally gun friendly. It shows how hard they're going to change people's minds. I don't know how many statists are moving out of California and just spoiling other states. I don't know what number that is.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we got to push back, and I really thank you guys for being here.
Yes.
I really appreciate all the support that you've given us tonight. It was really fun to rack all these mags and show you how strong I am.
You've become all this mag rack.
And cheers to you guys all.
Yes, cheers to us. Hopefully in the near future, we'll all be able to hang out, maybe have a little special event, food, maybe range day.
Maybe laugh and scroll through all the memes and all the sophistry because we're free.
Because we're free, right? Because what we did was successful. We changed minds. We pushed back. People decided, okay, yeah, we don't want to go down the path of tyranny and more red flags and confiscations and crazy stuff. Hopefully people recognize that it's just violence and we can change things. So cheers. Yes. Cheers to you. That was Wicked Perfect. Yes. Cheers to you. Cheers to Sasquatch, Renaissance Man, everybody else. Cheers Facebook. Cheers YouTube. Let's see what we can do.
But not the companies.
We'll update you. Yeah, people. Yeah, I'm using Synecdoche, but
someone said I got my upper body workout. Yeah, that's correct.
Right. So, yeah, hopefully everything will continue to go smoothly as it has, and we'll be able to update you with some great news, and probably even then next update, maybe get closer to saying when we'll actually launch. So,
yeah.
All right, take care, everybody on YouTube. See you later.
Bye. Thanks, everybody.
Thank you. Wait, did I hit?